I dressed as a pilot for Halloween and somehow ended up landing a plane. I'd spent way too much money on this pilot costume for my friend's Halloween party. My roommate Jake laughed when he saw me adjusting my tie in the mirror. "Dude, you look like you're about to fly Air Force One," he said. I struck a pose and saluted. "Captain Mitchell reporting for duty, sir." The party was at this upscale hotel downtown. I felt ridiculous walking through the lobby in full pilot regalia, but the looks I got were worth it. People kept asking me which airline I worked for, and I started making up stories about flying celebrities and emergency landings. Just last week, I had to navigate through a thunderstorm with Jennifer Lawrence on board, I told a group of impressed party guests. Around 11 p.m., the fire alarm started blaring. Everyone groaned, assuming it was a false alarm or someone's vape setting off the sensors. But then hotel staff started rushing through the hallways, actually evacuating people. We all filed outside into the parking lot, cocktails still in hand, wondering how long we'd have to wait before getting back to the party. That's when the real chaos started. A woman in scrubs came running from the adjacent medical center, screaming about a helicopter medical emergency. "The pilot collapsed," she shouted to anyone who would listen. "Heart attack. We need to get this patient to the trauma center in the city, but we don't have anyone who can fly." I was standing near the hotel entrance when she spotted me in my full captain's uniform. Her eyes went wide with relief. "Thank God. You will do it." Before I could respond, she grabbed my arm and started pulling me toward the helipad. "How many hours do you have on helicopters? This is life or death." "Wait, I'm not actually," I started to say, but she cut me off. "No time for modesty. There's a 6-year-old girl who needs surgery in the next hour, or she won't make it. You're her only chance." My stomach dropped as I realized what was happening. She thought I was a real pilot because of my costume. We reached the helipad where a medical helicopter was waiting, rotors already spinning. A paramedic ran over to us looking desperate. "Please tell me you can fly this thing. Our regular pilot is in the ambulance having chest pains, and the backup is stuck in traffic from a multi-car accident. We called every charter service in the state. No one's available." I stood there in my $200 Halloween costume, staring at this massive helicopter with a dying child inside, while medical professionals looked at me like I was their savior. The paramedic continued, "Look, I know this isn't your usual aircraft, but the controls are pretty standard. You've flown EC-135s before, right? The weird thing is, I actually had flown helicopters. Not professionally, but my uncle owned a small flight training school, and I'd spent summers there as a teenager. I had about 40 hours of flight time and a private helicopter license I'd never used. But this was completely different. This was a medical emergency with a child's life hanging in the balance. I have some helicopter experience," I said slowly. "But this isn't exactly what I—" The nurse grabbed my shoulders. "Some experience is better than no experience. Please. She's only 6 years old. Her name is Emma, and she needs you to be brave right now." That's when I made the stupidest, most terrifying decision of my life. I nodded and climbed into the pilot's seat. The controls were familiar but intimidating, with medical equipment and radio systems I'd never seen before. The paramedic strapped himself in and immediately started giving me coordinates and radio frequencies. "Tower, this is Medflight 7, requesting emergency clearance," I said into the headset. My hands were sweating inside my costume gloves as I ran through the pre-flight checklist from memory. The tower responded, "Medflight 7, you're cleared for immediate takeoff. Weather looks good and trauma center is standing by." I took a deep breath and lifted off. The 20-minute flight felt like hours. Every beep from the medical equipment made my heart race. The paramedic kept updating me on Emma's condition while I focused on not crashing into any buildings. "She's stable for now, but we're running out of time," he said. "How much longer?" "5 minutes out," I replied, spotting the trauma center's helipad in the distance. My landing was shaky but successful, and the medical team was waiting with a gurney. As they rushed Emma inside, the paramedic turned to me with tears in his eyes. "You just saved her life. What's your name so we can put it in the report?" That's when I had to confess. "Actually, I'm not a real pilot. I mean, I have a license, but I was just wearing this costume to a Halloween party." His jaw dropped. The hospital supervisor who'd witnessed the whole thing came over looking concerned until the paramedic explained what happened. "Wait, let me get this straight," she said. "You're telling me a guy in a Halloween costume just successfully flew a medical helicopter and saved a child's life?" When everyone nodded, she started laughing too. 6 months later, Emma made a full recovery, and her family invited me to her 7th birthday party. She insisted I wear my pilot costume, and now she tells everyone she was saved by Captain Halloween.